Hello, I'm Cord Cochran. I'm an International Student Advisor, also known as a Designated School Official. And today we're going to talk about the I-983 for those that are going on to STEM OPT. The I-983 is the training plan, and it must be filled out correctly in order for you to have a valid STEM process. So we're going to actually go over how to fill out the form. Obviously, as we look at the top of the page for the I-983, you'll start off with your name. You'll do your email address. We always recommend that you use your UCM email address because that way you're also using that in the CVIS portal so that there's no conflict and it's easier to maintain just one email address with kind of the same password if necessary so that you don't forget those things. You'll put in the university's name. You'll put in the type of school. And then you're going to put in your school code, which is also on the first page. We'll also have the designated school officials, and you will list all of the designated school officials according to the way that we have it formatted. We do have the ability for you to see how it's supposed to be done and even the instructions that are given so that you know how to fill it out. When you look at the first page, you'll also see your CVIS ID number. You'll put that in as well. And then you'll put in the STEM dates, which is the dates from when you start on OPT, but the new year, and the dates when you will end 2 years later. So if you start on OPT on May 31st of 2025, you will end up with your end date as May 30 of 2026. So for STEM, you would say May 31st of 2026 to May 30th of 2028. Those are your dates. Then you're going to put on your major and the classification instructional programs code, which is called the SIP code. And those you will find on your I-20, and it's listed in the third box down. You'll put the date your degree was awarded. You're going to put whether it's based on a previous degree, and that would typically be no, but if you are using a different degree because you've got 2 degrees from the same level, then you would check yes. You would then put your employment authorization number, and it is a 9-digit number, kind of like your Social Security number. And then you go on ahead and you fill out your signature and your printed name and the date. And then we'll go on to page 2, which is the employment information. You will see a place that says start date of employment. When you're first applying for STEM, that start date of employment is going to be the start date that's found on page 1. And this is because STEM OPT is a different program than OPT. So you will have the start date of the current start date for your STEM and will not put your start date at the actual employer's start date because this has no bearing in this case. After that, if you change employers, you will then go on ahead and put the new start date. But please ensure you put the start date of your EAD so that we will have no problems. In the employment information, you're going to put the employer name. You'll put the employer EIN. You'll also have your OPT hours or your STEM OPT hours and any other things that need to be on that box. You'll also put in basically how many employees are within that company, as long as you can get it. You'll have a street address for the employer, the main employer, which can be different than page 3 where you're actually working. And you'll fill that information out. It also asks for a NAICS number. If you don't have one, not a big deal. Don't worry about it. You will also put in your payment amount. How many dollars per hour are you making? Or it could be a yearly sum. That's okay. And any other compensation that you may have. Basically, at that point, the supervisor or the HR person will sign this page. And then we get into the big part of the I-983, which is on page 3. You'll have your name again at the top. You'll have the employer's name, and then you'll have the site name that will be where you're actually working. But if you're working remotely, it's going to be the name of the company and your remote work address. Wherever you're living, if that's where you're working, that's the address you're going to put in the site address. You will have the name of the official who's overseeing this and the title, the email. You're also going to have the phone number as well. Then you're going to have the description for what your role is going to be. And that can be a basic description. It doesn't have to be long. But when we get to the goals and objectives, you must have a timeline. And so we typically say that you will need a timeline that says in the first 6 months that you're going to be doing this. In the next 12 months, you'll be doing this thing. And in 18 months, you'll do this. And by the 24th month, you will be doing something else, so that there's a progression in your job duties and understanding of what you're supposed to be doing. When we get to page 4, if you're working remotely, you'll have additional remarks at the top of the box. And if you have more information that's needed, you can also create an addendum page and put all the information that the employer wants to have on there. And then you'll have another signature from your employer. The last page, which is page 5, is your initial evaluation and your final evaluation page. And that's not filled out until you're into a year of employment. Or if you come to the end of your employment during an employer, then you will fill out the second portion of the evaluation. You fill it out, you sign it, and the employer signs it, or your supervisor signs it. And that is the basics of the I-983.